Given the cold, miserable weather we've been experiencing this week, it seems appropriate to talk about hypothermia first aid. Hypothermia occurs when heat being generated by the body is insufficient and the body's temperature drops below 35 degrees. In extreme cases, the body's systems and organs can progressively shut down as the body's temperature falls lower. It's important to remain vigilant around infants and the elderly in this weather, who are especially susceptible. The most well-known form of hypothermia is caused by environmental factors. If a patient has been exposed to cold, wet or windy conditions for a prolonged period of time, this causes hypothermia. It's particularly exacerbated if the patient has been immersed in cold water, like the pool behind me. Indicators of mild hypothermia include shivering, pale and cool skin, and slurred speech. However, once moderate to severe hypothermia develops, we can actually observe an absence of shivering. Instead, we see muscle stiffness, a slow, irregular pulse, low blood pressure, and a progressive decrease in consciousness. So the question is, what can you do if you suspect a patient of suffering from hypothermia? Firstly, we urge you to call 000 so we can get an ambulance on the way. Next, protect or remove the patient from the cold environment. Commence CPR if the patient is not breathing. You need to remove any sources of heat loss, such as wet clothing, contact with cold surfaces, or a windy environment. Do not remove wet clothing if there is no dry blanket or other suitable cover for the patient. If you do have blankets, dry the patient as much as possible and apply a fresh blanket around the patient to insulate them. You can give the patient warm fluids, however, do not give them alcohol. If you have heat packs, you can apply these to areas where major blood vessels pass close to the skin, such as the neck, armpits or the groin, to slowly rewarm the patient. Alternatively, you can apply body-to-body contact if possible. Most importantly, we do want to avoid warming a hypothermic patient too quickly. The sudden reintroduction of too much heat can cause dangerous and fatal arrhythmias. Ensure any heat source that is placed is warm but not hot, and do not place the patient in a warm bath.